Hi, everybody. It's your host, Marva, and this is a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And today's episode is going to be about my son, Rain's journey with speech therapy. As of January 29th of this year, Rain started speech therapy for his diagnosis of mixed receptive expressive language disorder, which is the reduced response rate to directions and questions, reduced expressive vocabulary, and limited reciprocal interactions. Basically saying like Rain didn't understand how to use language properly, and he also didn't know how to reciprocate language back to people in a proper way. Doing this was the best decision I could have done for him because Rain is utterly the smartest person or child that I know. He can absorb anything within seconds, minutes, days. He learned something so quick. And the way that he was responding to people or interacting with language did worry me and his dad at first, but it wasn't like an urgent thing to, take into matters, because he would talk around us. He would have small conversations with us. Me and Charles rarely talk at home. We're very quiet people unless we're talking to family or something, but it didn't really bother us because it was like normal interactions with him. It would frustrate us as parents and him as a child that he couldn't tell us a lot of things, especially when it's things that he needed. He would just cry. He would misbehave. He would lash out. And of course, those type of interactions they were stressful because it's like as a parent, you want to help your child. You want to know what's going on. Sometimes we take, those type of reactions as misbehavior, but honestly, it's like a cry help for him. I went through a company called Expressible. They picked a speech therapist for me. I'm very grateful for her because she's very patient. She's very informative, very, very understanding. She asked me so many questions that I didn't even think related to speech. How Rain interacted with his cousins, his siblings, how he played, with toys and stuff like that. At the time, I was not giving him one-on-one time playing with him, which is my fault because, like I said, the way I grew up, I was very independent. And because of that, I feel like my kids should be independent, which in this case, Rain doesn't need independent play. He needs a one-on-one because of the way he intakes language. It's better for me to be face-to-face with him, talk to him about things, show him things, be like, oh, the bunny's purple, or, oh, the bunny can hop, talk to him like that, because then he knows what things are and he absorbs those words and he's using those appropriately. From January up to now, Rain has been able to answer yes and no questions. He's able to tell me things. He's, able to ask questions. He's able to tell us what certain things are, be very informative about certain facts of things. He's very imaginative with his play. He loves to do pretend play. As of last week, Rain's sessions he was doing Sundays and Wednesdays, but now his speech pathologist has dropped it down to only Wednesdays because she feel like he has progressed and, exceeded his short-term goals. The long-term goal right now is for him to complete speech therapy by January of next year. The only thing we're kind of having a problem with is him not wanting to do screen work with her because we do everything from my phone, like on Zoom. He doesn't like to look at things on the screen on the phone. So it's hard for her to be like, show him a graphic and ask him questions like that. But just off evaluation and her, evaluating how me and him play during speech therapy, she has concluded that he's doing much better with speech. If you have been around Rain, he rarely talked. And if you've been around him recently, as of the last 2 weeks, he won't stop talking. The boy comes in here constantly with a toy and is like, Mommy, what's this? Or Mommy, what's this color? It's a blue car. He'll tell me, he'll answer me like I'm the one that doesn't know. He's like, yeah, it's a blue car. I'm very proud of his progress. It was a hard thing for me to realize that I needed to get him help, because in your mind, you're like, I'm his parent, I should be able to help him. But nothing that I knew of or could do for him was not working. And it didn't, now that I look back on it, it was so silly for me to think that I didn't need outside help, you know, and because this outside help has, you know, encouraged me like, hey, just do these simple things. And just me by me just sitting down and giving him one-on-one time, you know, even if it's like 30 minutes, an hour a day or here and there throughout the day, it has helped his speech 100%. The boy would not talk to us. He would look at us strange if we said certain things. You know, he would never want to. The most he said to Jalen was like, you know, calling her name and showing her things. But now he's talking to her. They can have little conversations. He wants to play with her. He wants to do things. It's just so fun to see how he's blossoming. The other day was Mother's Day, and we went to my sister's house, and this was the first time he played with his cousins without wanting to play by himself. He, you know, did bubbles with them. He played with the chalk. He told them bye when he was leaving. He hugged my niece. Like, these were things he would never do. And I'm so happy I got him this help, and I'm so glad that, you know, my family and my friends have been super supportive in this journey. I haven't had anybody judge me or him. They're very happy to see him become himself. And it's been such a good journey. I love it so much. I know I'm gonna keep being repetitive when I say this, but it was so fucking hard to push myself to do this. Like, it literally took me to like almost damn near break down, get angry, you know, and be like, okay, I just gotta fucking do it now, you know? Because, you know, soon he'll be in school, and I don't want someone else to be trying to put a label on him or to make it seem he's something that he's not, or make him a label. You know, I want Rain to be Rain. I don't want Rain to be, you know, his disabilities. I don't want Rain to be his disadvantages, because he's way more than that. I was way more than mine. So I want his ability to use, you know, speech or his language to be so more than what it was before he goes to school, so that he's excelling in his best, you know, in his own way. I also don't want to hinder him. I want to be able to be his number one supporter. I want to make sure that I'm doing everything as his parent to make sure that he is his best. And if I'm not doing that, then I'm failing my child. I'm a bad parent. I'm a bad mother, especially because I'm the one with him 24/7, you know. I love that I did this. I love that like I said, everyone around me is very supportive of it. His speech therapist is fucking awesome. I just feel like, you know, if you have these type of situations with your kids and you're getting frustrated, they're getting frustrated, don't ever think, and I know this is so cliche to say, don't ever feel like you can't reach outside of your household for help with your children. This is all a learning process for us. You know, God didn't necessarily make a parenting manual for us, or, you know, say, hey, this is what you're supposed to do in these certain situations. You know, if your kid's not speaking or talking or using language right. This is what these people go to school for. This is what they spend hours of studying, testing, and schoolwork for. You know, this is what they do. And this is what their job is for, is to help us, you know, help us within our household, help us with our children, help us or help the child. And like I said, this thing is still an ongoing journey. Like I said, it dropped down to 1 session a week. So tomorrow, well, this will be uploaded next week, but tomorrow in real time is his first 1 week of 1 sessions. We will take a small break in between now and mid-June, in between now into June, because his speech therapist is getting married. But other than that, I mean, I have the tools to continue on to help him until she decides that, you know, we're going to switch things up again. A few things that I did buy him or encourage him to play with, I don't let him play with an iPad, which I had already been cut out before I started speech therapy. He doesn't watch, anything that's not on TV. So he doesn't watch the phone. He doesn't watch an iPad. He only watches TV. He usually only gets TV when he's in his room because we don't have a TV downstairs in our living room. So anytime he's in his room is the only time he gets TV time. We do a lot of books. We do a lot of blocks, cars, millions of cars, because there's so many things you can do with cars, using expressive language like, oh my God, this car is red. Oh, the car is going so fast. Rain, can you make the car go slow? Rain, can you make the car go fast? Like, that's how I use the language, and teaching him like what the language means with toys. He has a nugget couch thing. As of lately, he's made it into a house. Sometimes he makes it into an ice cream truck because it has like pretend ice cream things. Last week he was really into balloons, so my mom bought him a balloon and a pump. One of those manual pumps, like you just like up and down and pump the balloons. We made a bunch of balloons. We made balloon arrangements. We put balloons on top of his playhouse with the nugget. We sang happy birthday because he's relating balloons with happy birthday. I've, asked my speech therapist plenty of times, like, how can I use these toys to reciprocate language to him, help him out. And she's been so wonderful. Like, after every session, she gives me an evaluation of that session. She gives me advice on what to keep doing. I always ask her what kind of toys does she recommend. She always gives me, non-electronic toys, because it's so much you could do with just blocks. It's so much you could do with like magnetic tiles, The key is to make them so imaginative that their minds expand with language. It's not just about the things around us. It's like, clicking into their imagination with these things too. I do love Melissa and Doug toys for pretend play because it's not like you have to buy so many things extra. Like, you could buy that one toy and it comes with everything. As far as like him knowing like ABC's color shapes, he learns that all with Miss Rachel. I love her because not only is she like, singing songs and stuff, but she's actually, she does sign language. She does the sounds. She does, examples of the sounds, examples of how you can use the letter. The words, descriptive, like, okay, if she was saying dog, she would be like, dog, show a dog. The letter of the day is D, and then a song about a dog. And then she's going back to like the letter D again. She's doing things like a preschool teacher would. And I like that because it's kind of hard for me to get his attention sometimes. So it's easy for both of us, for us to sit down and watch it together. And I reciprocate some of the songs with him and Lennox so that I'm showing them expressive language or, reciprocating language to them too. I have had to talk a lot more, be a lot more patient, but that's just part of being a parent, and I'm happy to do that for him. Also, these things I'm modeling for him, I'm hoping that it trickles down to Lennox. She loves the Itsy Bitsy song, and she does the little hand thing. She also loves one of the Miss Rachel songs. She's always like, hop little bunny, hop, 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 hop little bunny, hop, hop, hop. And Lennox like hops on her butt like a little bunny, and it's so cute. I'm very proud of Rain. He has came a long way with speech and language. I honestly thought my baby was a mute because he would be so damn anxious around everybody that he would not talk at all. Like, it was almost like he didn't know anything. When I know for sure he knew a lot of things. It was almost like he was just scared to talk, or like he was just going blank in his brain. Like, how do I talk to my cousins? Like, how do I talk to my aunt? Like, what do I do? And I'm so glad that he's so talkative because I was a talkative child. Overall, I love this experience. It's been positive. I hope that, if you guys are ever like, having that brink of moment or brink of time, where you're like, should I do this? Should I get outside help? Yes is the answer, because you always want to do the best for your children. I feel like a lot of times that parents think they know the best, and sometimes we don't, or we are scared to say we failed at something. I definitely failed with the speech part with my son because, like I said, I assumed he just needed a lot of independent play. I'm not a very affectionate person, like I told y'all, so it's hard for me sometimes to just be like, let's sit down, let's do this together, because I was such an independent child by force, not really by, because I wanted to. And that's hurt me as an adult too, because now I don't like to be social. I like to sit at home with my kids. I like to use the excuse that I can't drive and that I have my kids all the time, so I don't have to be social. But I don't want that for my kids because, I want to heal in places where I'm helping them so they don't have to heal in the same places. Really, that's about it about his speech therapy. It's, very simple because he doesn't have any other complex or difficult situations or diagnoses. Like, I know it'll be different with other diagnoses, but I only know about his, which is the mixed receptive disorder. It's fairly easy, I just have to give him a lot of one-on-one interaction with play, use a lot of words with play, and just give him all of my free time when it's time for him to play. Also, talk and have conversations with him. Be very descriptive with words so that he picks up on things and he's visually seeing it so he knows how to use it appropriately. I try not to talk in slang around Rain or baby talk him because kids pick up on shit like that. So I try to be very formal with language so that he's not picking up on things like, how like we might make up a word for something. I don't want to do that because I don't want to confuse him. And I also don't want him to go to school and then be saying something is this when it's really not that. And it's not because he doesn't know that, but because he thinks that's how you're supposed to word it or use that word. So I try to be very formal when I'm talking to him. Here and there throughout the podcast, I'll try and give you guys updates on it. But as far, the biggest update was that he met his short-term goals and that the sessions dropped down to once a week. And that, I'm very happy with the results of just from the end of January to like right now, we're about to become mid-May before his 4th birthday. He's done so much better. And I can't wait to see what he's going to be January of next year, what he'll be saying, what he'll be doing or how he'll be using language. Hopefully, maybe I can get him to sit down and do a podcast with me and he can stay on topic. Maybe that would probably be really fun to see how a 4-year-old would talk on a podcast. Cause I've seen a few people on TikTok do podcasts with their kids. I know 2 Chainz did one. I can't think of this one guy. He has curly hair and he has a daughter named Sailor. They do one together, and it'll be awesome to like feature him on him and see, the world through a 4-year-old's eyes. As always, thank you guys for listening, and this was a little bit of this, a little bit of that.